this is, somebody that's called in an issue or that. But as far as the fact that they're keeping people away from the building, we've seen this in the past. Where they will block traffic off. I can remember that suspicious truck that was pulled up on a street very near City Hall. That was approximately a year and a half ago. That caused this same sort of shutdown of the area. But again, you're looking at live pictures in downtown Cleveland with streets blocked off because of some sort of security issue. It does not look like City Hall is accessible. We're seeing people wait outside. If this was an issue inside City Hall, those people would not be allowed on those steps. They would make sure that they're removed, that they're away from the area. So the question is now, where is this security issue that we're looking at in downtown Cleveland? Again, going to report, there have been some erroneous reports on other media that City Hall has been evacuated. That is not the case. I can confirm that certain staff within the mayor's office have confirmed that they are not evacuated. Here's a little bit of a pulled out shot to show you just how far away that this is blocked off. There's Public Hall. So we're talking one street off of Lakeside I'm going to pull up a map here so we can show you just how far back it's been pulled. Give me just a second here as we look at live pictures again in downtown Cleveland, where, for some considerable blocks around, and in fact, this was that same area that truck a couple of years ago was found abandoned, pulled up on the sidewalk right in this same area. I believe, if we could see, that vehicle there is not Cleveland Police. I'm not sure if that's Border Protection or if that's a Homeland Security vehicle, that truck that's doing the main blocking out. But what's interesting here is the fact that you are seeing people standing on the steps of City Hall. It's almost as if the concern is on this block. The current concern is clearly not in front of City Hall or in City Hall. Otherwise, those people would not be allowed to stand there. They would evacuate them from that area. So this is just, we're curious here as to what we're dealing with. There are a couple of federal buildings. In fact, the federal building, I believe, is just to the right here. And I'm going to bring this up on our map so we can give you just a better look at exactly what we're talking about here. Here is the exact area, and I'll be able to show you exactly where our camera is positioned right now. I'm going to show you a map of the area. That's City Hall in the upper left corner. That sort of white and green square building. Our camera is right here on East 6th Street. Right here on this corner is where our camera is positioned. You can see Public Hall is this big building. You have the federal building is right here. The Anthony J. Celebrezze Federal Building is in this same area. So it is East 6th that is blocked off that appears to be the concern. And in fact, if you see where those officers are standing right there, you can see sort of that driveway. I'm going to show you where that is on this map. They are standing in the area. There is a loading dock that goes into the back of the federal building on this back side. So I'm almost going to, again, that was the same area that we saw a couple of years ago as we see more first responder vehicles. I'm not sure if they're leaving the scene, if they're just getting to the scene, but they had lights on as they're working this area. My intuition here as a journalist of almost 20 years in downtown Cleveland, my guess is that there is some sort of security concern with the federal building, and that is not uncommon. And I'm making that assumption based on where we are blocked off and the fact that there are people standing in front of City Hall. I've said it, I've already tried to reiterate that. You wouldn't see people standing on the steps of City Hall if this was an issue there. but you can see some people, a woman asking officers what's going on, trying to say, I need to get to, you got to think about that. This is pretty early, 9:30 as people are trying to get to work. But again, it's very interesting to me that the main street of concern is both Lakeside and East 6th Street here as it runs by Public Hall. And this is, unfortunately, this is just our vantage point at this time. And so what we've done here digitally is, if you were watching our 9 o'clock news, we have now switched over. We need to make sure, Julia, I know you told him to run this shot through 9 o'clock. Make sure he's aware we're going to keep this up for now, just until we get some sort of idea of exactly why the streets are blocked off and which building is concerned. We know it's not City Hall. I have a source inside that says they have not evacuated. If this were some sort of bomb threat at City Hall, more than likely that would have happened by now. The mayor, all of the employees, the administration would have left that area. But we're going to stay with this shot for the time being. For those that are just joining, and while our shot is a little bit static there, I want to show you exactly what we're talking about. City Hall is right here. We've been seeing the steps of City Hall. That's that area right here. This is where we're seeing the main police presence. This is the street that is closed off here, East 6th Street, as it runs between Public Hall. And then again, this concern is this building right here. This is the federal building. We're not exactly sure if East 9th is closed at Lakeside, but the other problem for this is, if you know anybody that was headed downtown, maybe they had some business at City Hall or the federal building, give them the heads up. At least give them the heads up that there is an issue of some significance, some sort of security issue in downtown Cleveland, and that they need to stay clear. Again, here's just our vantage point from that same street we were just looking at. There is the front of City Hall. We have seen, you can see in that shot, there's people standing there, and it really leads me to believe that the concern is the federal building. The fact that East 6th is cordoned off, and that it's somewhere between, or an area between City Hall and the federal building, the Celebres building. So we're going to continue to work on this to get anything confirmed. The Anthony J. Celebres Federal Building is the one that's to the right of this shot forward, and so that's why we're seeing some of the federal vehicles there as well. Department of Homeland vehicle, Homeland Security is blocking off East 6th at one point. Yeah, and we are expecting now, just finding out word that Cleveland Police are going to give us some sort of statement or word as to what we're dealing with. Again, the start of a busy workday, Tuesday in downtown, would expect the normal rush hour traffic. Some people already at work, but I guarantee there are a lot of others as we see a car. And I want to keep an eye on Lakeside to see if maybe they have opened up Lakeside. That could have been an investigator's car, could have been an undercover vehicle. So we'll keep an eye, but that's the first sort of pedestrian vehicle that we saw, the normal car go through there. So that'll be a big indication if where we're at in this. But again, if you remember just a couple of years ago in this same block, it's probably been a year, maybe a year and a half, there was a truck that had pulled up, a pickup truck that had pulled up. It was half on the sidewalk, half in the street. It was running, and it was abandoned in this exact same block. And this same sort of situation happened. I'm watching City Hall, trying to see if I saw an individual go for the door at City Hall. Now he's coming back, but I am seeing the door open. Probably just opened, and here comes another individual out of City Hall. We're going to get another vantage point, and here comes the Cleveland Bomb Squad. That gives us yet another little indication. This is exactly what happened in that situation where we had the van or the truck pull up in this same area. We can at least call this a bomb scare now, some sort of bomb scare. Clearly, you call in the bomb squad. We saw these vehicles come in a year ago. These are the vehicles that have the robot, that have the ability, and in that case with the truck on the sidewalk, the robot came out, searched all around that vehicle in order for investigators to get up to it closer. But we will see with this shot, we will see where these investigators go in relation to what we're looking at. If they physically go into a building, is it public hall here to our left, or are they concerned with maybe the plaza? And we haven't really pointed that out here on our map. Here is the plaza in between the federal building and City Hall. So we will see where investigators, these bomb squad officials that have been called in, to see where they go. Again, City Hall not evacuated. Some reports out there on other media that is erroneous. Sources told me that they have not evacuated City Hall, and in fact, you can see that for yourselves. Now, granted, they're not letting anyone in. I'm going to assume City Hall is on some form of lockdown. We've seen a number of individuals just standing there. City Hall does not appear to be the area of concern. I'm watching even more what look like security vehicles, first responders. I'm trying to make sure that those are, in fact, first responder vehicles. They had and here come some of those bomb squad officials, again, heading right for that area that I was talking about earlier. You see those metal posts there. Those posts are right there at, I'm going to bring you down to street level. And as our camera repositions, this is a good time. There is this driveway. It is on the back side of the Celebre's Federal Building. Let's get us down to street level. There is a loading dock in this area that has been the issue, and there it is. This is the back loading area. You can actually even see there is a guard shack right there for the back side of the federal building. Then the loading dock goes down. This is a pretty secure area, obviously. And so that's where we just saw investigators walk to. So I think we can clear out City Hall now from the equation as far as what we're dealing with. I'm going to go back to this. So there's our live picture, but here is the map just to give you some perspective. There is the front of City Hall as we use Google Maps here. There is the Celebre's Federal Building. You can see their little courtyard here with the trees, and it appeared at least the bomb squad officials that came in were headed for maybe this back loading dock area. So that's all we can do is stick with these live pictures, give you an indication of what we're dealing with at the area, and wait for an update from Cleveland Police. But again, a big police presence. Several streets in downtown Cleveland are closed. That is a concern, obviously, for people trying to get into work this morning. If they hadn't already, they're going to be experiencing some problems. A number of streets, at least Lakeside, we have seen. Obviously, this is East 6th. I want to get back to, I want to make sure I get, we know that St. Clair is open. When our photographer pans here to the left, he has shown that Lakeside is open, or not Lakeside, excuse me, St. Clair is open to traffic. That's good news. Those would be two major streets closed if both Lakeside and St. Clair had been shut down. We just saw a matter of seconds ago, two Cleveland Police bomb squad vehicles pull on here to East 6th. And the concern seems to be the federal building. And we know how tough security has to be in the recent climate. We have seen this before. Fortunately, none of the issues that we've watched play out have been anything dangerous. That truck was really bizarre about a year ago that was pulled up halfway on a sidewalk and left running. That really looked concerning to police, and that even checked out to be nothing. So we've got City Hall blocked off. We're going to stay with this. See, we are expecting hopefully soon an update from Cleveland Police.
Which building? He said they were standing outside City Hall. I'm leaving it. I haven't. Hang on, let me see if I can hear back.
So we're going to keep this right here. We're going to call this a bomb scare and get away from this idea that it's at City Hall because we know it's not evacuated. We can still see people standing on the front steps of City Hall. And the real concern, if you look to the right, you can even see now, if our photographer would pan in, you can see the guard shack right behind that skinny tree to the far right of your screen, and that's where officials are looking. And you've got Cleveland Police making sure people stay off of East 6th Street. So it is clearly an issue at the Celebre's Federal Building. We're getting some new information coming in here as we pause for just a second. So give me a second here. I think we can get some new information. And it is now confirmed from the Cleveland Fire Department that it is the Federal Building where this bomb scare is. That's not comforting to anybody that has perhaps family that works in that building, but that is where the issue is. Did they say, did they evacuate the Federal Building?
For a report of a bomb threat at the Federal Building.
Okay, it is the report of a bomb threat at the Federal Building. That's what we're finding out now. Okay, and their staging area is the convention center. Here is the convention center, Huntington Convention Center. If you've been downtown, it's underneath Mall C, I believe that's Mall C. Here is Public Auditorium, Cleveland Public Auditorium. And then you have the Celebre's, the Anthony J. Celebre's Federal Building here on the corner of East 9th and Lakeside. So we've at least narrowed down now the area of concern. We'll leave this shot up for a little bit clarification. Perhaps we will see the robot come out of the bomb squad vehicles parked just to our left. And again, we're seeing the interest is this loading dock area that we can see just to our right. And in fact, I'm going to show you that again on our map as we wait for another update. So here is the map. You have the Federal Building right here. This is the building in question. And if you look on this back side as we take you down to Street View, right here, we'll drop our pinpoint here on Google Earth. Here is the back loading dock area for that Federal Building. I'm going to click back one position so you can see what we're dealing with. Here is the Federal Building, the building to the left, and you can see down into the loading dock area. The one thing I want you to notice that has become pretty standard for all Federal buildings is the type of security, these metal posts, and in fact, we can go all around the property, and they've done this specifically because of the Oklahoma City bombing situation when that vehicle was able to get so close to the Murrow Federal Building. I'm going to take you around the block here. They have concrete barriers that would keep a vehicle from getting close. We can come down here to City Hall and go around the corner. And again, all of this new landscaping was done with a purpose. Notice at the top of the stairs, You have more of those metal posts so that nobody could potentially pull a vehicle up the stairs into that courtyard. Again, you have some concrete walls there, and then look at where the courtyard stops. You have now even more of the posts with an even tighter formation to keep any vehicle away from this federal building. This building went through a pretty major renovation project in the last 5 years. New windows put on the outside. It was an interesting situation. This is getting into probably too much information for the building, but instead of replacing the windows in the building itself, the federal government found it was actually better economics to encase the building in that new layer of glass. You can see the windows on the inside were just sort of sleeved in with those new windows. Just an interesting perspective here. We can continue our look around the building. There's a smaller courtyard on this side. Now we're at East 9th and Lakeside. And so there is a large area. I'm going to guess that East 9th is closed at least up to St. Clair, as they also have to be prepared to look at the backside of this building where there is yet another courtyard. So that's what we're dealing with. We know that this is a bomb threat at the federal building, and that a lot of streets, we see another fire truck coming from the staging area at the Huntington Convention Center, I believe is what they're using as the staging. We are getting new information here. Okay, we're hearing from our photographer on the scene that they've been given the all clear. We're going to wait for this. Apparently they're taking the tape down where our photographer's position is. We'll hang on this for just a second. It looks like we may be getting to an all clear on this. So let's stick with this for just another moment or two. This may have been just a precaution. Not sure what would have led them to this, but we're seeing there you can see a citizen now walking down the street. So this does appear to be all clear, as that woman would not be allowed to walk there if this was still an issue, although she is moving now to the other side of the street. As we look at City Hall, we can see officers. Here are more citizens now being let back into this area. So this has obviously been cleared. You're seeing citizens being told they can go back towards that area. Again, we'll work to find out exactly what this was. We're even seeing vehicles move off of Lakeside that are clearing the area. But again, a lot of people who were probably trying to get to work and were being held up at those corners now being allowed back into this area, some of whom presumably are headed to the federal building that had some sort of threat in that area. What we will do is we're going to step away. We're going to conclude our coverage on this here on our digital platforms. We're going to work to get to the bottom of what this incident was, what was the investigation, and we'll have the very latest coming up at 11 o'clock, an hour and 15 minutes from now on CW 43, as well as our noon news on Channel 19. Until then, if we have anything else that breaks, if this situation were to change, we'll come right back on live with you. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. Have a good day.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.